I haven't got any circus skills at all. I can't juggle, I can't throw the knife at the lady, I can't tame the lion, and I can't crack the whip or jump into the small bucket. Can't do any of those things.
The thing that excites me about performing is that it's a release of any tensions that you might have inside you.
Ooh. I'm not sure whether it does excite me anymore, it's just the money.
It does me. The thing that excites me about performing really is the fact that you're doing something good, you're making people laugh.
Except the ones that walk off.
Except the ones that walk off, and, you know.
It's a kind of two-way thing, seeing people enjoy and just connecting with them, you know what I mean? I kind of like that about it, really.
You've got to communicate with the audience, but not to look at them, because you are apart from them, and it will break the illusion.
I normally try and interact with an audience, but with 800 it becomes really difficult. But I actually think I managed. And that's an amazing feeling to just see that you're making an impact.
Like I was doing a job in Brighton recently, and then had a real buzz about it. And then I was in Suffolk or somewhere like that, doing an agricultural show, and people had come to look at the cows.
I had to stand on one leg and do a raspberry, go arse over, what's it, in front of 250 people. And I bonked my head. I thought it was a goner. And I heard them, as I hit the floor, go, and it was weird because it took off. I just flew. And I was just so embarrassed. I was like, no, I'm fine, just get back on, I'm fine.
We spent a huge amount of time when we were on the road exercising. We would stay up all night long practicing our handstands. We used to spend hours balancing and tumbling and helping each other learn tricks and use our bicycles, that sort of thing.
I can do nothing like that. I can't even juggle.
Well, can I? I juggle with two things, but not with three.
That's not really juggling, is it?
No, it's chucking stuff up in the air, isn't it?
Yeah.
Apart from doing a bit of stretching, a bit of yoga, trying to get my foot behind my neck and stuff like that, you know, just to kind of loosen the old gizzard areas. Everyone used to get down and do bang out 20, drop and give me 20. So we used to do that. And then all stick our knuckles together like loads of bravado-y kind of, you know, blokey business, and put your knuckles together, you know, things like that, really, yeah.
You need to warm all those areas up, your body, and then moving on to your voice. And I start to hum, a kind of there's opening your voice and going, you know,
many men, many men, many men, men, many men, many men, many men, men.
In tooting two tutors astute, try to toot to a duke on a flute.
Paba à moi, tadala rigor.
That kind of thing, you know, it's all kind of croaking out. But it opens up your voice, it relaxes and strengthens your vocal cords, it warms everything up.
I don't find the clowns funny. I do begrudge them coming on. I find it quite insulting.
No, what I enjoy about clowns, I think they're very talented actually, because when clowns get together at the circus, they can do things that are very funny, like they can throw custard pies at each other and things in a very funny way to make a lot of people laugh, and you have to be very talented to be able to do that. You have to be an entertainer.
No, oh my goodness, no way. They're so horrible. They're really frightening, and I think a lot of people are scared of clowns.
And they're very funny, actually.
If it's badly done, it can be very sad.
Oh, it's totally embarrassing. Yeah, I don't like clowns.
It doesn't work out. You feel pity for them, and that's so awful.
Clowns are creepy, aren't they? They're not funny at all. They're just weird.
don't look like they're happy. You know, the way they're painted smiles and their hair. And I don't like the music, that that horrible roundabout music with, clowns aren't not my...
Slapstick just isn't funny, I don't think. Do you know what I mean? A car falling apart and somebody falling over. It's like...
The one I first saw when I was a little kid was called Doodles. Yes, I like the clowns. I like slapstick.
One of the things we least like about what we do is
working with each other.
Working with each other.
Yeah.
You're constantly having to travel with each other, work with each other, be creative.
Do interviews.
Do everything together.
If there aren't a few butterflies around in the tummy before you go on stage, you're probably not going to give a good performance. You've got to be keyed up.
You'd think after all this time I wouldn't, but yes, I still do. I still freak out and panic and fear, the audience reaction to me, and then I get over it.
You feel sick sometimes. But as soon as I go on stage, I think, well, this is it. I can't turn back now. I'm on. Oh, God, here comes the light. The light's going up. Inside, the real me is saying, oh, my God. Here we go. Why am I doing this? I love it when I'm doing it. I know I love it when I'm doing it, but why am I doing it? I'm glad I didn't have too much to eat.
We did a show a couple of years ago, and 8,000 kids saw it in a week. We had about 1,000 kids per performance. And the kids were like, they were 8 or 9, screaming blue murder. Oh, I've never been so scared in all my life. I must be stupid. And you get out there, and you look out and you think, they're just loving it. And they're completely engrossed in what you're doing.
It's knowing that whatever I take on to perform in front of the audience, actually, it comes through me. It's something that I take on, and it just kaboom.
Every time I went on, I could just feel the people laughing at me. It was fantastic. That gives me such a buzz. Such a hell of a buzz.
We turned down Freddie Starr, didn't we?
We turned down Freddie Starr.
Freddie Starr couldn't pay enough for us.
Yeah.
That was the highlight of our career, I think.
That was the
Really
highlight of our career, turning down Freddie Starr.
That's something I hadn't really considered, appearing on television. But if the chance came, yes. Yes, it would be a new dimension.
I am scared of heights a bit. I think I could get over it though.
The circus is, it's a bit boring, isn't it, really?
The best effective medicine is... I have no idea.
You see, I've had a lot of things wrong with me. I mean, I'm always going to the doctors, and you get there and you find out, there's queues to wait all the time, isn't there? Most of the time, and then, doctors a lot of the time waiting in queues, and, most of the time you spend most of your time in the doctors waiting, don't you?
Well, I'm sorry, I'm one of these. I go to the doctor when it's generally necessary. I mean, I ain't one of these goes for every pill, potion and tablet that there is. If I know what's the matter with me, I expect the doctor to do something about it. I won't be fobbed off by them.
Doctors have always scared me because when I was born I nearly died. I have 50% chance of living when I was born, and was in a little incubator, and all my eyes were covered and I was yellow, which was awful.
I rarely go to the doctor. The last time I did go, he thought I'd died because I hadn't been for such a long time.
Doctors and I are great friends. I owe a lot to doctors. They've kept me alive. I've seen a lot of them. They've come, they've prodded me from top to bottom, in and out, every end, every part of my body. And they cut me open, stitched me up, and did a pretty good job on me all over.
I'm the kind of person that's sort of a bit of a hypochondriac, and if I get a little sort of nagging pain or something, I automatically think it's something really serious. But then I never go to the doctor,
And
really.
you never shut up about it either.
I know, it's just kind of like typical bloke, I suppose, where...
It's not.
Should we rave about it now?
Well, it's these heart palpitations I get. You see, you never know when they're going to come, and they just... You got your heart jumping about all over the place.
Can't do with sputum, and I can't do very much with feet. I can't do anything with anybody's feet. I can't have all on doing anything with my own, and sputum really makes my stomach turn over. You know. I don't mind vomit.
I developed a funny lockjaw. You know, the dribble was coming out the side of my mouth. I couldn't speak, I couldn't chew. I just wanted to die. Took one look at me and said, "Oh, that's allergic reaction." He gave me my antidote, and immediately my mouth just went back to normal.
That's what I got now. I've got throat swelling now. I've got the tablets for that at the moment as well.
I've took a lot of tablets all my life, about 23,000, and I'm still alive. But at the end of the day, I think without them I'd have been dead.
I once had my head slammed in a door. That was good. I was saying goodbye to my friend, and somebody slammed the door on my head, and it was my birthday, and I had to have 5 stitches in my head, so I've got them as well.
I mean, I could have had a DVT, couldn't I, laid in bed all that time, but I mean, as I said, they gave me an anticoagulant. Anyway, I'm here to tell the story, so there's people worse off than I am, and I can walk about all right.
I remember having a severe cold which didn't shift, and I shared a flat with a couple of vet students who dosed me with Famil syrup, the main active ingredient of which I believe is creosote. So I spent several days smelling like a fence post, but it did the job.
You see, I've had a lot of things wrong with me. There was big problems with my eyes at one stage. I went in about my eyes on a lot of times and had to go to see specialists. And you see that, but what they do is they clamp your head in a big clamp, and they want to bounce things on your eyeballs.
I had an eye operation quite a few years ago. I flew very quickly after I'd had the eye operation.
Well, you can't, I couldn't be doing with that, and so I'm pulling my head out of this clamp all the time.
And it was a real concern. I shouldn't have flown because it put too much pressure behind the eye.
That's another occasion when they told me I could just go on my own way, so I got thrown out of there as well.
I've fallen for a nurse, yeah. I fell for a nurse once. This blonde, beautiful little blonde lady. She was quite nice, she was. Yes. I used to travel to Birmingham to see her on my old motorbike.
I had a blood test the other day, but I do not like needles. I don't like needles at all. I look away when I'm having an injection.
I'm fine with injections into any part of my body, but I won't have them in my mouth. And the reason is that I've
always been completely the opposite. I love injections in my mouth.
Really?
I really quite like them. In fact, the more sort of intrusive the dentistry, the better I like it, really.
Well, I'm not keen on dentists now. I was the last in Britain to be gassed.
They didn't use enough gas, did they?
Yeah, I mean, I did come round. But that's when they first started phasing gas out, because they said gas is too dangerous.
The big black mask. Oh. You can see it coming towards your face, and the smell of the rubber, and having all my bottom teeth filled without anaesthetic. Dentists. Just brutal. Really brutal.
Dr. Bewers, he was very good, that boy. I mean, I think he was the first one that told me, some of the many things that was wrong with me. I had a problem with the inner ear and asthma, what I had for a long time.
Got a small scar on my forehead where a child threw a brick at me. Well, it seemed like a brick at the time, but... And I've got a scar here.
I have no scars whatsoever anywhere. Have I? In fact, you count that as a scar. It's only a little.
Well, it is a scar, yeah.
Well, I don't count it as a scar, so.
Do you not?
No.
I've got a scar on my elbow and a scar on my other elbow and a scar on my knee.
On my face, my legs, my stomach.
And a scar on my other knee, my tongue, my head.
My arms, wrists, hands, everywhere. There is no one part on my body that does not have a scar.
I don't think I've got any other scars. Not physical ones, mental ones, obviously. I've got a lot of them, but you can't see them because they're inside my brain.
I was injured badly once. Somebody kicked me in the forehead. Being very young, I got up and carried on and didn't think, it had done me much damage. For all I know, some of that damage may still be there. May still affect some of the things I do and some of the things I say.
I've broken all my toes, I've got a dodgy knee, I've busted both my ankles and bent my feet back round so they're next to my shins, broken my hand and my wrist, my collarbones 3 times, bashed my head, knackered my back. But it's all been worth it.
It's great. I love smiling, I love being happy and jovial, telling jokes, being the butt end of jokes, but hey, now I can do it with a mouthful of teeth and I'm really looking forward to it.
I've had crabs, they were good.
They got out of hand, didn't they?
They did, yeah.
Ooh, hang on. Won't let anyone stick a thermometer.
Now it's a lot of talk, is what I find. Yeah. Sorry, what was the question again?
The stigmas in most species of Nymphaceae, the stigma, which is the female organ, actually gets warm by 3 to 6 degrees centigrade and emits a smell, a pheromone, and the pheromone attracts the insects, and the insects shush what?
The phone.
But the phone's interrupting me, not me the phone.
Yes, but...
Do you want me to stop?
I heard, through the body odor from others, we realize if we are genetically matching or not. And unfortunately, the way nature works is of odor rather than perfume, you know. So the way it is, I'm sorry, I can't change it, so I smell and I like to smell people as well. If I smell you in the street, don't be offended.
I went to an animal rescue charity in a very deprived part of northwest London. And I took one look at her, and something happened. It was one look, absolutely one look.
I didn't really like him actually, to be honest, at the beginning, because I thought it was a bit of a sort of know-it-all.
Oh
yeah. But the way he ate a sandwich, that was it really, and you could see his stomach. So yeah, that's why I quite liked him first of all.
You've got to be confident and optimistic. If you're pessimistic and always on the back foot, I don't think you get anywhere. So, you know, a bit of the old cockiness, you know, I think they all like a bit of that.
I am sexy all the time. Do you know what I mean?
Well, which part of you?
Oh, all of
exactly?
me, of course. You know, that's... So I feel like that when I get out in the mornings, you know, I feel very sexy. Most of the times you're not there, but there you are. You know, can't help that, can you? But do you feel sexy?
No, not really.
Well, it is early, isn't it?
Yeah, sure. Of course I'm sexy. I can use my voice. I can tell you I love you. I can whisper this on your ear 100 million times and you will scream for more, more and more. I have a great smile, which you will never find anywhere else in this world.
It sounds corny now, but you used to always get the same chat line I say. You know what it is? You know the best part of your body? It's a bit in between the top of your head and the bottom of your feet. All of you. I say, you're lovely. I said, I've seen some lovely lasses in my time, but I said, but you must have been right ahead of the queue in the audition with the good looks. But when I was saying all these things, I had my fingers crossed.
Biggest turn on for me. Lovely bottoms. They must have a nice bottom. I don't know what it is. Not too bothered about the front bit, but the bottom bit I do quite like.
I'd never worried about size or shape. I've lived with mongrels for half my life. And suddenly here was I, head over heels, in love, or what?
It's lovely being in love. It makes you all twinkly and it makes you all happy. And sometimes I can't think straight, do you know what I mean? Because I'm thinking of him.
If you're looking for a disco dancing spring rabbit, then you would find me a bit boring. But if you are the kind of person who likes to sit around and moan a lot, then you could say I'm a very good companion.
No, actually, he's not too bad. He's not that unsavoury a person. I think he's alright.
Thank you.
I'm really intolerant.
I'm not that unsavoury a person.
The thing is with you, your mother did everything for you. And then when you come up to me, you're ruddy bloody useless.
Obey, that's what the vicar
No,
said.
I didn't. When we got married, I did not obey.
Obey.
No, I didn't obey.
Obey.
No.
I have lots of trapped air that has to get out somehow. And that's really bad when you're sleeping with someone. And methane gas is lighter than air, so you end up on the ceiling. And so that's why I choose not to sleep with anybody, and that's why I don't have a partner for a long time. It's all not my fault, it's the methane gas fault.
I've got about, wait, let me count. 19 boys fancy me, but I don't fancy them. I actually fancy Roo and he fancies me because you're pretty, that's why. I'm really gonna get in for that.
I used to be very romantic when I was younger. I think everybody who's younger is very romantic, you know. Fall in love, thinking about the partner, doing different things to them in your head.
Romantic? No, not really.
Yeah, you
No,
are.
no,
You
don't be nonsense.
are. Really, really
Nonsense. No, I don't think so.
I think you are. You're very thoughtful. You are.
You've never said that before.
Oh, I'm not on tape then, am I?
Yeah, no, I'm a little bit romantic. I like to
Romanticise?
lavish gifts upon my my wife, and and I do like to treat her to things that I know that she likes.
Trip down Tesco's.
Trip down Tesco's.
Yeah.
She loves all that stuff.
What about me?
Are you romantic?
You tell me.
No, you're not.
Aren't I?
No.
I am.
No, you're not.
You're just saying it now.
No, you're not. I'm not.
I am actually.
I do believe in love at first sight, but I'm not saying it does anyone any good. What happens after that? That's as much as I'm saying.
There you go. We've got three, you see, but there's one I can never remember her name. She does a lot of riding. I'm trying to think of a flipping name now. What's she called? Well, let's just call her Rosie for today. Yeah, Rosie. Good old Rosie.
I've pulled a muscle.
I'd like to be a bird.
I don't know, something like an Andean condor. Lots of space, you know, sort of.
Big birds of prey, something like that.
Soaring above the mountains and just looking down and looking for your dinner.
Nice big albatross.
No, Mike, being reincarnated as a sparrow.
And birds go. There we go.
I like to put food out for them,
Bread or
especially in the
nuts?
winter, because you see them in the trees and they're sort of looking a bit nonplussed, aren't they? But I put one of those peanut things out recently, thinking I was doing them a good turn, and it was like 10 weeks later, there was no visible sign of any nut disappearing, and I thought, well, what's this all about? I don't know.
How'd you open the bag?
Well, you don't open the bag, do you? They're supposed to go through the bag, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't think bland comes into our eating. We're definitely, what would you say, gourmets or gourmands, whichever word it is. We like to indulge and enjoy the food, really.
And I think probably there's a good variety in what we eat. Thai, Indian, Chinese, French, Italian.
Yeah, whatever.
Traditional British.
As long as it tastes good, I'll eat it, really.
And the best of all, of course, is duck.
The only thing you can do is not to make eye contact, of course. As soon as you make eye contact, it just has you. I think it's because you're easy prey. You're a nice little bit of meat here. Nice and small, I could soon whip him round. Perhaps that's what they do. I think, he's quite vulnerable, I'll have this one.
When you're up a tree, you're head and shoulders above all the buildings. You can see the contours of the land. There's something immensely liberating about that. And it's real freedom to be up there in the wind.
How do birds stay up in the air? It's all to do with aerodynamics, and that's far too complicated for me to go into now.
Some things aren't worth thinking about, are they like that?
Not all birds stay up in the air, do they?
No, they don't.
If you dropped an emu out of an aircraft, it wouldn't stay in the air, would it?
No.
The first time I flew myself, I was scared silly. But quickly started to enjoy it. It's not short of hard work. Every single day. Something new, something different, got to keep learning.
Birds stay in the air through magic. And there's all these scientists and naturalists who think they've got it sussed, but it's all magic.
You think it's sort of Peter Pan, do you, Ian? Sort of they have a happy thought. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, birds are happy, and that's why they can fly.
It's brilliant. When you're flying down the M6, you can see truckers flash their lights when they see you. It's great. There's no better feeling, I think. It's really free. It's good.
It's wonderful. It's a wonderful feeling. Yeah. You gotta limber up, you gotta loosen up. You gotta get all that. You know what I mean? You gotta warm it up before you let rip.
Yes, I've never flown. Except I have jumped. I'm very brave at some things.
I don't like to take off, I like to land, do I?
Me personally, I do like taking off, the pull of it, right? When you actually take off, yeah, I do enjoy that sort of thing.
Taking off the surge, the acceleration, the noise, the shaking, and then, once you're airborne and everything's stabilised, perfectly all right. And obviously turbulence isn't much fun, but it's not usually anything to worry about. I've never flown in really bad weather or had a bad experience. If you've got that flying bug, then I don't think you really lose that.
It doesn't matter how many times you take off into a dawn or landing at sunset.
Yeah.
It's just a special thing.
I've got the best sense of direction. Anna's got no sense of direction. None at all, have you, Anne?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. No, I haven't got a clue on direction, how to get there, to get back now. No, I haven't got a clue.
I could probably lose her around the block. She wouldn't be able to get back. Definitely not.
Oh, well, would we say we've got a good sense of direction? I mean, we're blokes, aren't we? I mean, of course, we don't have to stop and ask for directions, ever. I mean, you never get lost, do you, blokey?
I've never been lost at all in my life. I've been temporarily misplaced from time to time, but never actually lost. So I'd say I've got a pretty good sense of direction as well.
Without landmarks, I'm lost. Without landmarks, I really am useless. And you take a right, and it's down there.
Myself, personally, I don't like flying because I don't like heights. But we've never actually ever been on what I'd call a long flight now. It's been 4 hours at the most, isn't it? Yeah. How I'd fare on a 7 or 11 hour flight, I just do not know. No, I don't think I'd handle it very well at all, to be honest with you.
Pigeons are vermin, man.
Sky rats, what I call pigeons.
You know what I mean? What we need is a few more peregrine falcons around London.
Or sparrowhawks.
Sort them out, you know what I mean?
But it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller, the areas we can go to. And yeah, it would be great just to be able to walk down London's high street, you know. Woohoo, check me out, everybody. I'm coming past your window. Oh, you know, that would be cool.
It's not the fear of flying, it's the fear of crashing. Well, people say they're frightened of flying, but they're not really. They just feel frightened of dying.
Funnily enough, I've only actually been flying about 4 times in my life. The last time I went to Italy in May, and that I found fine. I got over it, and I realised it was an irrational fear. But before that, it really was like a white knuckle ride. To be honest with you, I do have quite a few fears and phobias. I don't like heights either, but flying was a bad one for me for a while. But I'm fine with it now.
I don't think I've got a fear of heights. Maybe a fear of falling from a great height, but no, those being up on a high place doesn't give me the shivers. Other things do, but not heights.
Yeah, I've not got a problem with heights at all.
I actually fell through a couple of skylights on roofs, one at Bamford, at Brislington. I actually fell through the skylight and dropped through into the kitchen area. They weren't very happy though, not for the fact that I cut all my legs, it was for the fact that I had ruined all the dinner.
He had a bad accident about 2 years ago. Flying one, sort of crashed into the ground, didn't you?
Yeah. It was quite a turbulent day, and I started spinning, and I saw the ground coming up. I was going to crash near people, and broke my pelvis off.
Nasty.
The pelvis broke off and it came up and it hit first the ribs.
Did the ribs break as well?
Yeah.
They did. The pelvis broke the ribs?
Yeah.
Oh. Oof. Lucky you didn't hit your head though.
Yeah.
Actually, I find that one of the most relaxing sounds there is, birds singing.
Yeah, lovely.
All green and slimy with googly eyes. Googly eyes and little thingies that go up in the air with round bits on the end. Antennae. Yeah, with a spaceship.
I don't believe in aliens, really. I don't believe in strange people and strange creatures and strange anything, because God wouldn't create anything that's not perfect and that's abnormal and strange.
No, I don't believe there's alien life on this planet. I believe there's something, but
Don't know
what we don't know. But I believe there's something that we've not been told about that.
What do you mean if aliens existed? Aliens do exist. Everybody knows aliens exist.
I think if aliens existed, I would think they're about that small. Some of them, these are the good ones, that small, and they have quite a big head, and they're very good at sums, and they have small legs and arms.
I've no idea what aliens would look like. They could look like anything. They might just be a ball of gas, or an idea, or a particular coloured light.
The whole conspiracy thing about aliens is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, why on earth would they visit us to fly around in some farmer's back garden in the back end and beyond in Suffolk to just bugger off again? It just doesn't make sense whatsoever. And the whole thing about UFOs in the sky is just beyond me.
Well, what is a UFO?
You know what a UFO is?
What does it stand for?
I can't remember. Something. What is it?
An unidentified flying object? No, I've never seen one of those. I don't even know what one is.
So anything that you don't identify that flies past you is a UFO, isn't it? So basically, if it's a bird that you don't recognise, what's that? You get the book out, you can't identify it. That was a UFO, wasn't it?
No, you're being silly.
I've seen a UFO at a time when UFOs were being sighted in Lancashire. People were saying they had flying saucers going over the rooftops in a suburb of Bolton. And one news reporter claimed to have taken a photograph, but whether it was a genuine photo is another thing.
I came beginning of May in 1984 because it's a beautiful planet. You can see it from quite far. It looks very attractive.
It's not as striking, the difference that people expect when they ask, how different is it than home? I mean, you hate to lapse into this whole stereotype about how the English people are who live around me.
We have radionic equipment, which we call spiritual energy radiators, which have been in operation now for over 30 years. Every unselfish action is potentized by spiritual energy radiators.
You have here like shopping centers, which are like community centers nowadays. You have people on Saturday take their children to shopping center. Like, probably that's one of the elements of care and community programs they have now. They develop, strong enough medication so they can keep you quiet and you can just walk around and look at the bright, shiny things.
Yeah.
Makes you happy.
I mean, they make these models of aliens. I mean, how can they make models of aliens when they've never ever seen aliens? You know what I mean? Is that is that a fuss?
Yeah, but
but is it?
Yeah,
you know
but
what I mean?
you're allowed to have that imagination, aren't you?
Yeah, but I mean, how can they mould an alien when they've not seen an alien?
Well, if somebody asks you what's an alien look like...
Well, I couldn't tell them because I don't know, because I've never seen one.
If they say, right, what do you think it looks like?
Well, again, I wouldn't be able to tell you because I don't know.
Yeah, but wouldn't you have a go at saying, I think they might look like this, or...
Well, they could be 2 foot tall.
Well, I think a lot of the portrayal of aliens comes from people who say they've seen aliens or they've been beamed up by aliens. Some of these stories people come out with.
Do you think they are stories, or do you think they're true?
There's no doubt in my mind that these people have had an experience.
No, I think that's nonsense, to be honest. I think people have either had too much to drink or they've just got very imaginative imaginations.
I reckon they've been on some sort of
wacky-backy
type stuff, I reckon, if they're saying they've been abducted by it. So
they glow in the dark,
The first few months in this country, I had to learn that you do not kiss everybody to say hello. And I did with the postman. I opened the door, there was the postman, I gave him a kiss on his cheek twice or whatever. And he was absolutely shocked.
I've loved the weather here. And I know that sounds crazy because everyone always complains about the weather here. Oh, it's very temperate. Living in the city, you hardly ever have a freeze. And when you do have snow, it's pretty and it melts when it hits the ground, which is ideal.
Yeah, I reckon there's quite a few of them roaming around the planet at the moment. And
Well, I think just the opposite. To be honest, I don't think at this particular time aliens do not exist. Until someone comes up with the proof that they are existing.
There's a lot of proof that they exist on other planets, isn't there?
You know, it may not be kind of like we might be looking at sort of, looking at things in other dimensions, other planes. It doesn't have to be travelling through long distances, things like the elves and the fairies.
Wacky people. Wacky people. Real strange.
This is home, everything is a bit upside down, but that's the way it is.
But it's becoming level.
I've learned that it's very important to be polite.
Yes.
You have to remember to say certain amount of thank yous and sorries. You have to say sorry to people you shouldn't really say. You walk on the street and there's a person walking in front of you.
Yes.
And suddenly those two people perform a dance saying sorry, and you don't know which way to move.
Yes.
I think that was something which I felt a bit amused by that.
Yes. Mainly, I just watched Jeremy Paxman.
Now, as to whether they visited us or not, recently, I couldn't tell you. They might have. Who's to say they ain't here now?
My theory is we came from another planet.
It's just, no, it's just pants. I don't believe in it.
I was wondering what you think about communication.
Communication?
It's a difficult one, that, isn't it?
Sorry?
I say that's a difficult one.
I wasn't listening.
No.
No.
Describe communication.
What is communication? Go on. Hey, that's a start, Spice. We do speak the language of it.
You've got the easy bit.
And the other question again.
I remember the question.
I mean, the only thing that you can say about me is I speak lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots, and sometimes you can see this in the face of the people that are around, that I don't let them speak now.
You're Australian, not Australian, I know what a Russian or a French, I don't know what he was, I think. He come from a bloody broad, but he said a job of what he's bloody talking about half of the time, but he could speak a little bit of Asian, but not a bloody lot.
I just can't imagine that from an UG we've got, such a, like French, for example. French is very sophisticated,
No,
isn't it?
well, French isn't actually as sophisticated as UG, if you ask me, but there you go, that's my view of the French.
There are people that say that the French, aren't very sophisticated, and there's other people that say they are, but an UG, if the French language came from that, it's a bit surprising, really, isn't it?
It would be UG, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
There's a thing I'm you guys know where everybody's called man, even a woman. If you're talking to a woman, you're going, alright, man? I mean, if I'm talking to my mother, I'll say, who, man? But, I mean, that's my mother. My mother's not a man. But, so, doing here, I've said it a couple of times, and it just slipped out. I'll say, if it's a woman, or somebody pushes in, they say, who, man, who you pushing? Say, I'm not a woman, I'm a man. I say, now you're a woman, man.
Urban is the new language. Look at bling. Who's saying bling now? Everybody! Bling!
It's not just about the language, though. There's body language, isn't there? Which is
There is body language, I suppose, which is universal.
And I can tell by looking at you right now that you're looking a little bit edgy, a little bit nervous, and even though I speak the same language as you, I didn't need to know that in order to tell that.
Would you agree that 80% of communication is non-verbal?
Just thinking about that one.
Well, you were looking at me then and communicating. You were frowning a little bit, so you were communicating, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
And I read your face to say that...
Yeah, I guess you could say, 80% is non-verbal.
Yes. Well, it's 100%, isn't it, if you're a North Sea diver mending oil rigs?
I'm not biting.
As far as communication goes when we're working sheep, it can either be vocal or whistle. So, to go left, and it goes round to the right, and that turns the sheep to the left. And that's how it works. It's communication between three different animals.
That's a cuckoo. That's a cuckoo that you can call a cuckoo in with that. That does that call twice, and then you have to wait, and the cuckoo that will reply back to you, and then you do it again twice, and that will bring the cuckoo all the way as close as you want. That you can call them in, and then of course you shoot them.
You know when a donkey's unhappy. If a donkey's bad-tempered,
it will lay its ears right down like that. Bad tempered. When they're happy, their ears are usually up or slightly forward like that. But if they're laid right down like that and they're swishing their tail like she is now, that's showing aggression. But their ears have got to be down right flat on their body to show aggression. But normally they're straight up again, like hers, look. They're straight up. Or just flopped out to the side, like that. They'll flop them out to the side. You think they're up. But then they'll flop them out. But they're all up, pricked up, looking happy, like that. But that's the only thing, you've got to watch a donkey when she lays her ears right down like that.
Don't whisper things. It defeats the object.
Do you have like communication issues between you?
No. We just don't talk.
It's all about knowing.
I tend to be quiet, don't I? I don't do much or say much if I'm...
Or you go, if you're angry, Wayne, you go, You always know, and I say to Paul, oh, Wayne's got a grumpy on.
On your nose, look, see? Oh, that was a good one, wasn't it?
I always thought they were being aggressive.
No, that's showing affection. Now somebody should put your hand in her mouth, look.
I make noises usually in the place of words.
What kind?
You make up loads of
just
baby talk.
Yeah, in the middle of things and things like that. But you understand, don't you, Bab?
And you say things like, I banged my knee.
Alright.
I wouldn't recommend everybody to do it, but no, you put your hand in your mouth. Yeah, show her your tongue. Let's see your tongue. Come on. Show me your tongue. I want to see your tongue. There he is. Look, I got him. Come on, I want to see your tongue. There you go. Look, there's your tongue.
They don't mind you doing that?
No, I wouldn't recommend you. No, I wouldn't say you do it, but no, they just trust me. You say that's what it is.
When you need communication, I mean, it doesn't matter that you don't speak the language or you don't speak because you are blind or you don't hear. I mean, it's something you need to live. You need to communicate. You need to communicate with someone. Something you need. Always there's something you need or something someone needs and needs to communicate with you. So it's something really, it's really important. The communication is something.
You have to be positive. You have to talk. You must love one another. You must understand. You must communicate. You must read books. Yeah, for real, man. And we out. Peace. Yeah. Shut up, Brian. Okay.
Yeah, well, I've been like that. I've been cut like some people cut me like that. And you know, why are you speaking so very fast? And didn't so you talking too loud today? I can't hear what you've been talking about. Then you got the trouble. I used to turn around and you must be bloody deaf then.